So welcome to this Facebook Live. I want to do something around goals for 2017. One of my goals is to do some Facebook Lives exploring just some simple themes around some of the things we do at the Optimum Health Clinic. So here's the thing about New Year goals. New Year goals can be a great thing in the sense of having intention, having things to focus towards. Often habits and behaviors change because we set an intention. And otherwise what happens is we have ideas and we have things that we know we should do, but it doesn't equate to change without some kind of commitment to action. The trouble is with ME chronic fatigue that we're often limited by our actual energy and resources. And if you have any tendency towards achiever patterns, or any tendency towards just always wanting to do more than you're able to do, which is often the reason why people end up burnt out with, one of the reasons, not the whole reason, one of the reasons why people end up with ME chronic fatigue in the first place, that's often an obstacle. And then the danger can be that then we just shy away from any kind of setting, any kind of intention, because of the fear of causing a crash or a relapse. So I think one of the key pieces to consider with this is what is our attitude towards positive thinking? There's so many books, so many people talk about the power of positive thinking, and of course it has its place. The trouble is that positive thinking can actually cause a lot more problems than it solves. And the reason is what goes up in a way which is unsupported must come back down again. You see this, for example, in the stock markets. If you have a company which is overvalued and it goes up and up and up and up and up and everyone wants a slice of it, at some point, if it's overvalued, it's going to come crashing back down again. Same is true with our health. You can't convince yourself that you're more recovered than you are if there are real physical things, which in the vast majority of cases there are, that are going on which are limiting your capacity towards what you can do. Obviously, we hugely believe in the power of psychology with ME chronic fatigue. That's why we have a whole psychology department. But that role of psychology is not mind over matter. It's not your mind deciding that you can do something and therefore ignoring your body in the process. And that's the danger of setting goals in such a way where we're being more ambitious than our physical body is able to do. When we think about positive thinking, what we need is things to go up in a way which is sustainable. So, for example, a company on the stock market's value going up in a sustainable way, that it's built upon something that's fundamental and something that's real. Same needs to be the case with your recovery. Your intention to do more needs to be based on real physical energy. And so when it comes to setting goals, where does that leave us? Well, I think what's really helpful is to set goals and intentions towards changing habits and behaviors, not setting goals and intentions towards activity and how much you do. So if, for example, there are things that you're looking to do, like being more consistent in certain things around your nutrition, remembering to take supplements, having a consistent meditation practice, using psychology tools that perhaps we've trained you in here at the clinic, setting intentions around being consistent with those can be really helpful, because that's something that's directly in your control, and your physical energy doesn't have to be an obstacle towards doing those things. In fact, doing those things is actually supporting having more physical energy. I think another piece of this which is really helpful is setting goals in such a way where you set things up to win. So what that means is setting goals that feel absolutely achievable. So, for example, if what you want to do is you want to meditate for an hour every day, for example, start off with setting the intention towards meditating for 5 or 10 minutes every day, and maybe do it for 5 days a week. So if you have a day or two where for whatever reason that you don't, at the end of the week, you still feel like you've won. You feel like you've succeeded. And then if at the end of those 2 weeks, that 5 or 10 minutes, you know you can do more, then you extend it to 15 or 20 minutes. But by doing it that way, you're gathering evidence that you actually can follow through what you commit to doing, as opposed to gathering evidence that you can't, and you constantly therefore feel like you're failing. I'm recording this video at home, and I realize that there's a free happening in the background. I hope it's not coming through too much in terms of the recording. So to summarize what we've said so far, setting goals towards behaviors and habits, not towards activity and how much you do. And setting it in such a way which feels achievable. The third thing that I find that people find really helpful is having one set of goals that you have, or one set of habits or activities that you have on days which are good days or average days, and having a backup that you can fall to if for some reason you have a crash day or crash few days. So if we take, for example, the meditation example, if you're doing 15 minutes a day and you have a bad day, then maybe you just do 5 minutes. But you still have the sense of feeling like you're being successful in following through what you've committed to doing. But it's also manageable in the place you are in terms of your actual recovery. So we want to gather evidence of being successful and succeeding, and then being able to build upon that, as opposed to having this constant sense, whatever we commit to, we can't follow through, and therefore we just feel shy of ever setting any kind of goals or intentions. So what I encourage you to do is, if this feels like something you feel inspired to want to act upon, what I encourage you to do is to take some goals or some aims for the next, let's say, week. And if there are 5, 6 things you want to do, just start off with 1 or 2 things and pick something that feels absolutely manageable. But make an absolute commitment to do it, and set some kind of reminder or some kind of way to bring yourself back to it in a week's time to check back. So maybe set yourself a diary reminder or some kind of reminder on your phone or something like that, that then you can check in with yourself and go, did I follow through? Was I able to do it? And if you followed through and you were able to do it, then you go, maybe you raise the bar, maybe you bring some other things in, and then you go for another week. See how you get on. Would love to hear. Post in the comments below this video. Maybe if you want to share what you're committing to doing now in the comments below, having a kind of public statement around it can be helpful in terms of accountability. And maybe check back in a week's time, and if you feel like posting in the comments if you've been successful in a week's time and what you're raising to, that might also be helpful. So I hope that's been helpful, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, then let us know. I've got a bit of a goal here. So my goal was to do 1 to start with, but I like the idea of maybe doing something every week or so, and perhaps getting some of the practitioner team here at the clinic involved as well. So yeah, let us know how you get on, and hope that's been helpful.